let me preface that we are being recorded, so nobody say anything disparaging about anyone. But then third, first up being first interaction being most valuable on Facebook would be for it to be for you to get a share. Second is comments, and then third is likes. Well, ever since Facebook launched reactions actually have more of a value than just a regular like. So before, a like would be good. Of course, it isn't as great as a comment or a share, but there was still great value to that. But now Facebook, and this is actually like the year anniversary of reactions, but Facebook is now prioritizing when your fans actually do something beyond the like. So if they love something, if they laugh, if they're, shocked by it or sad or angry, those reactions have more value than just a simple like. So I just encourage you guys to engage more with your fans and followers because it does make a difference. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to comments, you can't use any of these reactions. But like if you're writing a post, um, you know, why don't you go ahead and just make the first reaction by liking it yourself? If or I'm sorry, not liking it, but by loving it, because that's gonna kind of get the ball rolling. And then, of course, they're very visible that people are having more than just a like reaction to it. So, and then you can even ask in the context or in the text in the caption, ask like, do you love this outfit on Taraji as much as we do? And then go in and actually react to it by putting a love emoji on there as opposed to just, a like. One that's going to help boost the virality of your post. Facebook has never told us if it's a substantial help to your post or your content if you do that, but they don't discourage it and they don't see anything wrong with it, and there is value to it. We just don't know how much it is. So definitely utilize and encourage your audience to um, show how they feel about content by using any of the reactions other than just like. Does anyone have any questions about that? Cool. Is Kelly on the phone yet from BAW?
I'm here. Hi.
Hey, it's Kelly. So Kelly is very heavily involved in Black America Web, and this week they went up um, as far as referral traffic from Facebook to the website. They went up 32%. So I was curious to find out how they do things because we they kind of do things differently, which isn't good or bad. It's just different. So I wanted to get Kelly to talk about what their approach is as far as like the frequency of content posted, and then also what was it that popped this week for BAW. Kelly.
Hi, guys. Thanks for putting me on the spot. No, I'm just kidding. Great to talk to y'all. So it's actually been an interesting month for us. One thing that we do make sure to do, we make sure that we have at least 3 to 5 posts per day. And we've been consistent in that for actually the last year and a half. uh, we experiment. We have experimented with doing photos versus links. Obviously, we want click through, so we do more links than we do of anything else. But we try to make sure that we have exclusive content at least once a day. Um, this week, part of why we grew so much is because the day after um, HBCU presidents went to the White House, Omarosa was on the Tom Joyner morning show talking to Roland Martin, and she was just Omarosa. So we really didn't even have to say much about it. It grew, and I think people. It wasn't shared a ton of times. I think that a help is the change in reaction. So many people with their reactions were mad more than anything. Um, so the change in the way Facebook is measuring that probably put it in more feeds than it normally would be in. And the other thing is, we also had a death this week, and I apologize, I can't remember his name, but he was a little known Black History fact, and that was helpful. And then the week before, or 2 weeks ago, uh, we had another death, and it's so sad how death does so well.
Right.
But butt. So,
And then also, I mean, most people use the sad reaction, so that probably
yeah,
helps it too.
yeah, and that probably, yeah, and with Facebook, once we find out about the changes, they had probably rolled it out a month ago or 2 months ago. So, yeah, so I think those things all helped, and people were really reacting. We try to respond to comments when we can. If we can't, we try to like at least, and we just try to make sure we're posting consistent content that people want to see.
Great. Now, as far as the Omarosa was concerned, did you guys get a inkling by the reaction that was, or by what was happening on the air, that that might be something that would be huge on social?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You could tell immediately from the way the on-air personalities were reacting to her that okay, people are gonna want to read this.
Wow. Well, that's the.
Leon. It was when Leon passed.
Oh, Leon Ware?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the things that you guys can, I know that I missed that interview, so BAW cross posts a ton of content to our site. So if you didn't already publish that interview, definitely go back because, like Kelly said, if Omarosa is being Omarosa, people always react for better or for worse to her. So thank you so much for that, Kelly.
No problem.
Oh, let me ask you also. So you guys post 3 to 5 times a day. I know a lot of our other sites post a lot more than that. Have you guys ever tried to do, like 20 posts a day or something that aggressive or even double digits, or have you guys always stuck with like single digit per day?
It's interesting that you said that. So that's actually something that we're considering trying soon. We've been using the pages to watch feature and just seeing what other pages are doing. There's some pages who will post a whole lot and their reach goes really far. Then there's other pages that post a little and their reach is really low. So we're trying to figure that out. It is something that we plan to test within the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you'll see it. Hopefully you'll see some growth, and we'll see.
Well, it's smart. I mean, just to see if, I mean, because not whether you're doing something right or wrong, but just because Facebook keeps changing the game on us, it's good that you're experimenting to see if something that didn't work before might work now.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
D-
Thanks.
does anyone have any questions for Kelly? Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, and hey, congratulations, Darnella. Future.
Aw. Well, you were one too, so high five back at you. Thank
Oh,
you.
congrats! That was huge.
Thank you.
Congrats, Darnella.
Thank you so much. Yay. So next up, one of the things I wanted to reiterate, yes, or last week when we had a speaker on, and he was, he's worked with Mary Mary on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also Empire, and he was talking about some of the things. Stephen Jones, when he was talking about some of the things that have worked for him, I noticed he kind of has that BAW approach where it's quality over quantity. And one of the things that I don't know if you guys caught, but I thought was really interesting, he says he kind of thinks of it like food or eating, and that you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, meaning those are like around the times that he'll have content up, and then snacks in between. So if you are someone who doesn't post a lot, just make sure that you're spreading it out so that there's content going on throughout the day. I know, like with the syndicated shows, some of the producers who engage on social, like they go hard when the shows are on, and that's when I kind of fall back because I'm like, okay, they have that 4 hour window covered, so let me keep the other 20 hours throughout the day populated to keep life on the page and just keep the engagement as high as possible. One of the other things that I thought was really interesting, I looked on the Empire page, and they just posted a picture. And as Kelly talked about, like, do we do links or do we do pictures? I used to be one of the people who was like only pictures because I just felt like for whatever reason the algorithm was more favorable to content that was photo driven. And it feels like that's starting to come back because this post here has 200,000 likes, which is amazing. And of course, the fact that it was the Academy Awards and it's Taraji, of course, helps. But I had a situation where, what did I post? Oh, I posted a picture of Viola Davis. Can't find. Oh, there it is. I posted a picture of Viola Davis, and it really was successful. Usually for this page, if I get like 100 likes, that's really good. So for it to do 655, of course, the fact that it was during the Academy Awards and it was trending probably helped. But I also posted content that was more link based, and that did not perform as well. So as we always try to figure out what Facebook is going to give the most love to, mix it up, try different things, and also try just posting great or impactful photos. I didn't put a link back here, but I did actually have this strategy where like Ricky Smiley, he'll sometimes see something funny on, or he'll share something on his personal page, and then he'll ask me to share it on the main page, and usually I just do a straight share, no commentary, because he's already commented on it, and I just share it. But this one, this woman praying for Nicki Minaj, I
Dear Heavenly Father and funeral director Jesus.
Okay, I'll mute that. Anyway, it's really funny. But when I shared this, I added the link so that people could see, because I was assuming not everyone had heard the song, and I saw like a nice traffic spike from putting in inputting the link here. So sometimes even when it's a share, there is value in exercising those best practices of putting a link, and then also tagging relevant parties, because I'm sure the fact that this was trending helped it, and then the fact that I had the link there, and then people just curious wanting to hear the song, or even wanting to hear the song again, helped a lot. Another example is, so when I saw that tactic worked, when Ricky asked me to share this first 48 episode spoof of the whole Remy Nicki Minaj situation, I put a link of some of the clapbacks that one of the sites had compiled that I had cross posted. And then again, that was also a big traffic win for me. So use photos, share, but don't look at those as opportunities not to drive traffic, even though in this instance, I did not include a link. Because I just kind of felt like, oh, it's just a picture, I'll just use it for engagement. Still put a link back because I was really surprised at how well this performed. Anyone have any questions about that? Okay, I'll move on. Okay, so YouTube. Um, of course, I know a lot of us are really focused on Instagram Live, still loving Facebook Live. Not so many people doing Twitter Live and Periscope, but YouTube Live is another way to expose your audience to stuff that's happening real time. When I saw this, I think, what was it, Friday night? I think I saw it Friday night when it was happening real time, and it had like over 100,000 views as it was happening. And I think I jumped on when it was like within the first 30 minutes. So that's another potential way to help expose your brand. And, when I went on, well, actually, I do like Hot 97, so maybe that's why I'm subscribed. Maybe that's why I saw it, but it was very prominent. I didn't have to look for it. It just popped out at me and really caught my attention. So definitely, as we do things live, don't forget about YouTube, because that's just a whole ecosystem that has so many people, and so many people can potentially be exposed to your brand on that platform. And then also, this doesn't really have anything to do with us, but I thought it was interesting. So YouTube is getting into the live TV game. So different broadcasters have actually signed deals with YouTube, and you can actually watch TV, like actual traditional broadcast television, on YouTube. So I'll be sure to send you guys that article, because I just thought it was really, I know a lot of people who don't even watch TV, like they just literally watch YouTube and kind of absorb everything on demand. So it's really cool to see that TV's really recognizing that there's a whole audience there, and doing more to bring more attention to the YouTube audience. Any questions about the last two things I covered? Cool. Okay, so I think sometimes, when we had that photo policy call, I think a lot of times people just are kind of posting content, and they don't realize that it may be a content violation. So like this is something, and um, when I first look at it, I'm assuming this came from the Mavericks. So be sure, like, if you see images like this, if or even if you Google it, always get permission if you're gonna do something that's outside of Getty. Just because we don't know who the photographer is, we don't know if it's owned by the Mavericks. And by the way, this is me assuming that it's something that they didn't get permission for, but they might have permission to use it, or these are assets that might have been given. But when you do see content that looks like this, just be sure to get permission, or just use something that we have access to. The cool thing about this post was, it was information. So you can still get the same message across by using something that we have access to, and not potentially getting us into trouble, because as we've seen, it's usually not, don't feel like, if, oh, no one's called or no one's complained now, it's usually something very long tail where we'll get in trouble for it later, or the cease and desist will come long after it was posted. Another thing that I see a lot of is people, where they rip videos. So I know sometimes, like, we'll see content like this on social media. If you're going to use something like this, be sure to repost it. Don't be the one who's natively uploading it. Just because if we don't have rights to it, it's something that they could flag us for later. Instagram doesn't seem to come for us the way Facebook does. Facebook is moving forward with monetization, so I think they're being smart about making sure that they don't have content that violates copyright on the platform, so that way when they do roll out the monetization, they're not in a situation where they could get sued. So while Facebook is aggressive, just be mindful that they're owned by the same company, and if this works out for Facebook, where monetized videos become something big, or even is something that becomes very successful, don't be surprised if they roll it out on Instagram. And again, you just don't want to go through that whole thing where you're being penalized for things that were done years before. So unless you have access to the video, I highly encourage you not to upload it, unless it's something that you shot, or maybe the talent has shot, or someone who is an employee of the company. When it's stuff, and especially when it's branded by another media company or just another company in general, it's something that we could potentially get in trouble for. Now, again, this is me assuming, but the beat in Dallas could have easily obtained permission or could have had access to this. But my concern is just always make sure that you do have it, and don't let it be something that's just verbal. Make sure that you get it in writing, so that way, if there is a cease and desist later, or if someone's threatening to sue us, we have it documented, as opposed to just saying someone said. Any questions? Great. All right, so I'll send you guys the links of everything that I covered, and please reach out if you have any questions. Everyone is free to hang up except for the online editors, because I just need to see who's on the call. But thank you all for joining the call, and I'll talk to you next week.